Colorado slot wide receiver LaJohntay Wester was invited to the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine after an impressive performance and practices at the Shrine Bowl. Matt, what are your thoughts on LaJohntay Wester getting invited to the Combine? I discussed this on my show kind of briefly yesterday with Tank Johnson, but I think he may be overlooked, obviously, because you got Shador and Travis on that team, but LaJohntay Wester's one hell of a player. What are your thoughts on LaJohntay getting invited to the Scouting Combine? Go ahead.
Well, I think he's a hell of a player. I think he's one of the best blocks in football. He's a great returner. It's smart. The combine is kind of a joke. Let's be real. A lot of the people know who they want anyway. I don't really need to see guys running around in fucking underwear to tell whether or not they can play. I mean, last year, if you remember from the Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl, 70% or 80% of the rosters were 5th round, 6th round, 7th round undrafted guys. Like, all this top of the fucking draft nonsense is to sell ratings on TV. All they do is talk about the top guys, and the bottom of the roster guys are the ones that make you go. So he's a dog. He's going to help somebody. He's a good football player. He needs to work on catching the ball consistently like every receiver does, but I really think he has the potential to be a really good player at the next level.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown was a 5th rounder, for God's sake. So, you can find great football players all over the draft. You just have to stop just being enamored with the top 32 guys, which absolutely. They aren't the top 32 guys. They might be athletic, they might fit a hole, or they might fit a fucking a need. But let's be real. I don't know how many first-round draft picks I've been around in my life that are absolute total fuckboys and can't get out of their own way. But it's a lot. It's more that couldn't play that could. Well, let's be real. There's more first-round quarterbacks that get drafted that can't do it that can. Most first-rounders fail. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, let me ask you. Let's talk LaJohntay Wester. You mentioned Antonio Brown. I want to kind of discuss, obviously, we just discussed him getting invited to this scouting combine, but I want to discuss an NFL comparison. I got one off the top of the bat who he took a picture with, Tyler Lockett. Do you think Tyler Lockett's a good NFL comparison to LaJohntay Wester? Obviously, Tyler Lockett, shifty slot receiver coming out of Kansas State. He was returning punts and kicks for the Seahawks. Obviously, we saw LaJohntay Wester take back this punt return versus Utah. But, Matt, if you had to pick an NFL comparison for LaJohntay Wester, I picked Tyler Lockett. Who would you pick?
I'd probably go with like playing right now or just in general. I would say Antonio Brown is my comparison, to be honest with you. I like Lockett. He's a hell of a player too. But I would say he's closer than AB than anyone else. Just twitchy and fast as fuck and can do multiple things.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's a hell of a comparison. AB obviously returned punts, shifty, fast as hell. Yeah, I think that's a great comparison as well. If you had to project a round that LaJohntay goes in, would you say later, third day, fourth, fifth round, maybe?
Between 4 and 7.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. But whoever does end up picking him in those rounds, I think is getting, you could argue, a steal. LaJohntay is one hell of a player. Obviously, we saw him during the last season. He came into Colorado wanting that number 1. We know Coach Prime is about numbers. You got to earn it. That shit isn't just handed out. And we saw LaJohntay end up working his way up and earning it towards the end of the season. So we know LaJohntay Wester is somebody that isn't afraid to just go and earn something and doesn't expect to be handed something, which is uncommon this day and age. But shout out to LaJohntay Wester being invited to the scouting combine, and we'll cover that as we get close to the draft.